Assalamualaikum. Welcome to this episode of Islamic Finance at the Capital. I'm Amirul Haji Muhammad, your host for today. With us today is Dr. Wan Ismail Wan Yusof, General Manager, Strategic Relations, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, and more importantly, a 3-decade-old veteran of the Islamic banking industry. Welcome to the studio, Datuk. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Islamic Finance at the Capital. I'm Amirul Haji Muhammad, your host for today. We are pleased to have on board Dr. Wan Ismail Wan Yusof, General Manager, Strategic Relations, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, and more importantly, a 3-decade-old veteran of the Islamic banking industry. Welcome, Datuk.
Thank you.
Datuk, what are the type of contracts available in the market, be it for the retail investors or for the corporate or the commercial enterprises?
So you're talking from the financing perspective,
Yes.
not on the deposit
Not
side.
on the deposit.
Well, basically, when we talk about financing, there are various types that is available in the market today. Basically, I can say that what we have got in the Islamic banking is not less than what you can actually find in the conventional bank. So, meaning it range from all types of financing needs, from individual, commercial, and up to the corporate sectors. And basically, when the bank first started, there are two main categories or two main types of financing. One is what people call as equity based, and the other one is debt based. And of course, above that, we have other type of contract that facilitate the need for trade financing and also other necessary facilities for the
Right, Datuk.
business sector.
Before we move on further, you were saying when the bank first started, when exactly did Bank Islam start?
Bank Islam started in 1983, which is now already more than 28 years. And of course, Bank Islam, the first Islamic bank in the country. And before we started, there was already, we can say, one modern Islamic banking in Dubai, Islamic Bank of Dubai. And from there, basically, when we come up with our own Islamic bank, we come up with our own way of doing banking, not only to facilitate the needs of the people, but also in terms of understanding on the various contracts in Islam.
I see. So moving forward, you were mentioning about the financing contracts available in the market. What are the popular contracts, be it the customers who go to Bank Islam who apply, or be it in the Islamic finance industry? What are the popular contracts?
Okay, among the popular contracts that we can see today, like buy with Aja, this is more on buy and sell. Buy and sell can be buying a house where the customer come to the bank buy the house and sell to the customer. It can be buying a shop, a house, buying a shopping complex where the customer come to the bank using the contract buy with Aja and then sell to the customer, and it is on a deferred payment terms. So this is one of the contract. The other popular contract,
Basically, Buy Bitama Aja stands for BBA.
Buy Bitama.
You were mentioning earlier just now that this is one of the debt-based contract, is it?
Yes, it's
Right.
a debt-based contract. So buy Aja means it's a buy and sell on the deferred payment.
Right. How long is it for? I mean, 1 year, 10 years, or
It can be as many years. It depends on the practice. For example, for a house, it could be for 10 years, can be 15 years. Now people can even do up to 30, 45 years financing.
Right. Depends on whether you meet the credit requirement or not.
That's right.
Right. Apart from Buy Bitaman Ajil, what other popular products are there?
Okay, the other popular product or contract is Ijarah. Ijarah means leasing basically. So from leasing we can have like hire purchase. So Ijarah Suma Abai, And also from Ijarah, we can have Al-Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik. So Ijarah Soma Al-Bay, it's just a hire purchase, you lease and later you sell.
Right.
So Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik also the same. You lease and later you sell.
But what's the difference?
ITAB or Al-Ijarah Soma Al-Bay is commonly used for hire purchase, for car financing. And Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik is another concept that Bank Negara is basically promoting for the banking institution to embark for house financing instead.
Right.
So instead of buy bisa menaja for house, the alternative now is Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik, meaning the bank lease the house to the customers and at the end they sell the house, just like the car financing.
Right, but are the customers given the option? Let's say you're giving examples of house. You say you can do it for both BBA and for Al-Ijarah.
Yeah.
What's the difference between under the first concept whereby it's a deferred installment sale and the second concept whereby it's a lease followed by a ownership transfer? What's the difference?
Basically, it's about the same. I mean, as far as the customer, they have to pay rental. Under Baik Bersama Menaja, they have to pay installment. Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik, they have to pay rental. At the end, there is another contract. You sell to the customer, transfer the ownership. Whereas Baik Bersama Menaja, it is yours already. It is yours, and then you are paying month by month, and then bit by bit, your portion getting bigger and bigger, and at the end, the entire thing is yours. But what Bank Negara is trying to do now, basically, Baik Bersama Menaja is a contract which is not popular in other countries. So we try to find something that is in common.
Why is it not popular in other countries?
Not popular, to me, this is a matter of
Interpretation.
a matter of needs.
Right.
Because in Malaysia, right from the very beginning, we look at the conventional banking, they do more on that for house rather than leasing.
Right.
Because last time, you go to the bank, you borrow money 100,000 to purchase the house. You borrow the money. But under Islamic, you buy the house and you sell to the customer. So these are basically that. So in terms of Ijarah for house, it's not being practiced in the country. But now it is a move to narrow the gap between what being practiced in the Gulf and what we're doing here. So basically, the central bank is encouraging banks now to offer like Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik and also another contract for the house known as Musyarakah Mutanakisah.
I see. But when I refer to whether it's BBA or Ijarah, sometimes I refer to them as products, sometimes I refer to them as contracts. Which is right? Is it the product or is it a contract or is it a combination of both?
Basically, that is basically a pattern now we can see in the country. Some they would like to use the name of the product. They call it house financing. Some they want to call it by the name of the contract, but Bersama Menaja financing. So this is basically the style chosen by the bank. We can see now so many Arabic terms being used to name their product. But some banks they prefer to use the normal conventional name so that people could understand better. So basically, like when we call house financing, it is house financing, but the contract is by Bersama Menaja. The contract is Musyarakah Mutanakisah. The contract is the other one is Ijarah Muntaya Bitamlik. So those are the contract.
Picking up where you say that, for example, the house situation, you said there's the BBA, then there's the Ijarah, right? To the discerning applicants, is there a difference in the profit rate charged whether it's BBA or Ijarah, or is it the same or?
Basically, it's the same.
Right.
Because this is a matter of approach. Approach, as what I mentioned earlier, we want to narrow the gap between the practice of Malaysian Islamic banking and also the Gulf Islamic banking. So basically, when we talk about costing, we got the base financing rate, conventional, they call it BLR. So that is what going to be the cost to the bank. So what we're going to offer is basically it's about the same, because we basically try to pay the depositors a reasonable return. So in order to pay that return, of course, we have to work backward. How much should we charge the financing customer? And that has to be in line with the OPR as declared by Bank Negara.
I see. So popular products, BBA, Ijarah, what else are popular in the market?
Now, basically, moving forward, when we talk about personal loan, Bainah has been the concept.
So
concept.
what is Bainah?
Bainah is basically you do buy and sell with the customer, where the goods belong to the bank. You sell to the customer, then you buy back. When you buy back, you pay the customer cash. But to some extent, this contract, basically, some of the scholars in the West, they are not in full agreement.
Right.
So
in the West or in the Middle East?
In the Middle East.
Right.
So what I mean here, we have to find the alternative concept.
Right.
So of late, basically, banks are trying as much as possible to do away with Bainah, but we move into Tawaru.
Right.
So Tawaru, basically, it involves the purchase of commodity, but this commodity does not belong to the bank.
But when you say commodity, what sort of commodity? Gold, silver,
It
palm oil?
can be, yeah, it can
Right.
be that sort of commodity
Right.
through a third party,
Right.
and you purchase, and then you sell to the customer. So the customer get back by selling to another party in the commodity market. So they get the proceed, which is cash.
So Tawaru is a contract offered by the bank
Yeah.
using a third party
Third party.
intermediary,
Yeah,
meaning the commodity or whatever used does not belong to the bank,
Sure.
right? So
Unlike the Bainah.
right. So in what circumstances does the players, or I would say applicants, apply for financing under the concept of Tawaru? In what situation?
Basically, this is the drive by the bank, not by the
Right.
customer.
Right.
Because as what I mentioned earlier, Bainah, there are some dispute from
Right.
the Gulf scholars. So we try to narrow the gap. So what being practiced over there is Tawaru. So we are putting Tawaru as the alternative. And basically we are trying to move away with the Bainah and
Right.
totally coming to Tawaru.
So basically, we are trying to move away from the Taman Ajir and Bainah, and we are using with Ijara,
Yeah,
Aita or
Yeah.
Ajara Tuma Al-Baid, Tawaruk,
masyarakat Kisah.
Musyarakah Mutanagisa. Is it applicable for both the retail and corporate sector, or is just for one particular sector?
Yes. Basically, because when we talk about asset acquisition, purchasing of house, purchasing of shopping complex, purchasing of commercial building, it is the acquisition of asset. So originally we used the Bisa Manager, but now basically banks are moving into this masyarakat tanah kisah secara minta ditambil.
If you were a commercial enterprise trying to secure a financing for your business, does it really matter whether you apply under Islamic banking or conventional banking, or is it, for me, I mean, assuming I'm a business owner, I just look at the rates involved. I mean,
Yeah.
what determines whether I apply the conventional or Islamic banking?
So when we talk about Islamic contract, it is something that is transparent. You know the limit. It is not simply you have to pay something where the sky is the limit. For example, when you do buy and sell, of course, last time any buy bisa Malaysia, it is based on the fixed rate.
Right.
Fixed rate, that is the rate you use from day one until the end of the
Right.
contract period. But now things has been innovated, basically to meet the demand of the customers, where they want to see their rate maybe fluctuate as per
Right.
conventional bank, for example.
Okay.
So it is called floating rate. So meaning under fixed rate it is fixed. Does not matter what happen to baseline rate.
Right.
But for floating rate, we fix the floor. We fix the ceiling rate.
The
So
ceiling.
the ceiling rate cannot go beyond that.
Like, it can mean the maximum, it can be, let's say,
Yeah.
10% or 50%, but
That's right.
it would need not necessarily be at that ceiling level.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's say we fix the ceiling at 10.
Right.
Now the rate could be 5. So we just 5. When it comes to 6, we just charge 6.
Right.
We cannot go beyond 10. But for conventional, it can hit 10, can go to 15, can go to 20.
Right.
Why not? So at least for Islamic banking customers, they know the ceiling.
Yes, so
that's
they have the certainty.
maximum.
So whether the rate goes up or down, for Islamic
That's
banking
right.
customers, they have the customers.
That's-
To hold on to your thoughts while we take a commercial break.
Okay.
Stay tuned at Islamic Finance at Capital TV. Hi there, we're back at Islamic Finance at the Capital. Datuk, just now before we took a break, we were discussing on the applications made by commercial or corporate enterprises. What are the most common products or contracts that these enterprises or businesses apply for?
Well, for uh, businesses, be it small business or big business, basically something that is very basic to them. For example, they want capital. They want capital,
Working capital or
working capital, and they want to acquire asset, and also they want some trade facilities. These are the
three
common
main
ones.
ones?
And basic for working capital, it could be they want OD or cash line, or they want kind of like revolving capital. And for asset acquisition, it can be they want to buy the building, they want to buy machinery, the various equipment, and also for trade facilities. They want to import, export their products. They need to have